Okay, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we got something that we're going to talk about just briefly. I'm going to do this kind of quick and not going to beat around the bush. You need to understand what is and what is not money. In 1933, President Roosevelt introduced a proclamation. It was called Proclamation 2039, where he suspended all usual or normal banking activity. It's been suspended. It's called a banking holiday. Then, 2 days later, on the 8th of March, March 9th, 3 days later, on March 9th, Congress got together because Franklin Roosevelt ordered them to do so. On the 3rd of March, the very first day in office, he ordered a special session of Congress. Y'all gonna meet, y'all gonna talk, y'all gonna pass this. And so Congress meets. It takes them less than 8 hours. Nobody gets a chance to go over the bill. It's read from the floor twice, where they say, hey, we're gonna maintain and we're gonna validate the president's suspending banking business because there is a national emergency and it is too serious for us to ignore. Then they said, but we're going to give y'all monopoly money to play with. We're going to make paper eligible currency for the United States. We're going to make that junk legal tender. So the first thing it says, United States government obligations and any notes. Nobody pays attention to any notes. They only pay attention to promissory notes or Federal Reserve notes or Federal Reserve Bank notes or national bank notes of the national banks or circulating notes of the Federal Reserve or circulating notes of the national banks. They focus on that stuff. Hold on now. That's what any notes mean. Did you know that a bill of exchange is a note? Did you know that banker's acceptance and a trade acceptances, those are notes, that a draft is a note? Exactly. So the Supreme Court had a case, Reeves versus Ernst & Young, 1990, where they explained exactly what Congress was talking about. They interpreted everything, and nobody pays attention to the Reeves, R-E-V-E-S, versus Ernst, E-R-N-S-T, and Young. It's a company, Ernst & Young. Look it up. Look up the case. Go read it. Type in any notes and see what you need to see. You see, any notes refers to legal tender. It includes Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve Bank notes. So when you go and you look at, now we're going to tell you this, it's the Act of June 5th, 1933. Now you're going to find it easier by just looking up HJR 192. Now HJR 192 is not the law. I think there are two words that are different from the final version of the law, which is Joint Resolution number 10 of June 5th, 1933. The official name is an act to assure the uniform value of the coins and currencies of the United States. So that's because they made all of those any notes, pay attention, uniform. Any notes. They made them all the same value, face value. That's what they meant by any notes. They made them all eligible papers or commercial papers. I know. It's so simple when you look at it from that standpoint. So then you go to 31 USC 5103, where it defines legal tender. And notice it says including. Well, anytime a statute uses the word including, or excluding, or exclude, or include, you must understand that it's all encompassing. It means everything in addition to what's being stated. So if it says excluding, it means it excludes a whole lot more than what it's talking about. If it says including, it means it includes a whole lot more than it's talking about. But since it said Federal Reserve notes, remember, Federal Reserve notes are already part of any notes. So it includes any notes. Legal tender is your promissory note. Go watch the video. I've already talked about it. I showed it to you guys. But see, I showed it to you. Now I'm explaining it to you. So now go back and watch the video and see if you finally get it. So when you gave your promissory note to the Federal Reserve through the bank, the depository institution, yes, when you gave it to them, they became a depository institution because you were depositing the promissory note. Whether it's a student loan, a car loan, or a home loan, you deposited a promissory note. Now, hold on now. This is what you need to know. This is very important because you need to understand what the depository institution was doing. Okay? They were preparing for fractional reserve banking. What were they fractional reserving? Thin air? Yeah, they were multiplying hypothetically. No, hypothetically. Sorry, not multiplying hypothetically. They were hypothecating the deposit. They were practicing hypothecation, where they multiplied it by 900 times the original value. Go ahead, it's called the BIC program. This is all, you can go look all of this up. It's right there for you. They're not hiding it from you. They never hid it. Just, I couldn't tell you about it before. I could only hint it, and then I can just tell you straight out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go back and look at the Federal Reserve Act. It says that the notes shall be at par value and shall be the obligation of the Federal Reserve once you deposited it with the Federal Reserve. It becomes their obligation. Why? Because it's payment on your part, and they get repaid when they deposit it, and the Federal Reserve gives them the money on your behalf. All you got to do is look at 12 USC 412 and 414. It explains the whole process. You just have to break it down so that you see it. That's why your promissory note cannot be worth anything less than what the original amount of Federal Reserve notes being applied for were. So since they did it at 900%, when you learn about OID, you're going to understand what the original issuer's discount is. Remember, you only paid the face value. They got that hypothecated amount. When you finally understand OID, then you really going to understand OID. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep it simple. Go back and watch the video. And watch it until you get it. That's the only way you're going to understand it. See, what I can't do is I cannot explain things to you. Let me take care of this, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing some stuff in the background. What I can't do is I can't explain things to you for you to understand it. I cannot explain it to you on your level. Sorry, not saying that I'm on a different, yes I am on a different level than you. It's been a long time since I've been where you are. So I cannot think like you. So go back, watch the video, and you watch it until you understand it. You play it over and over again, whatever statement is made, until you understand it. You take that statement, put it in ChatGPT, and let it explain it. I gave you guys a link. All you got to do is continue the conversation in that ChatGPT because it's already programmed for you. Y'all really ought to understand what's being done for you. That ChatGPT, it's for you. All you got to do is continue the conversation. You don't have to train it or anything. It's already trained on that information. Ta-da! All right, have a good day, everybody. Hey, this is Sunday. I got to go out and finish my little coopity-whoopity-doopity, and I haven't really even started. I've been out in that driveway repairing and graveling the driveway for the last 2 days by myself. That ain't easy. Gotta go. Take care.